Did you ever notice that the people who pay the least money are the ones who cause the most problems? I noticed this when I was living in South Central LA. Well, it wasn't the first time that I noticed, but it was the first time that I kind of put everything together. My name is Liberty. Thanks for coming to my channel. Check it out. Make sure you like this if you like it. Share it with a friend. Tell me your thoughts. Have you ever noticed that the people who pay the least money are the ones who cause the most problems? Now, when I was living in, I'm not talking about the area of South Central LA, although that is true also, because my neighbors lived there because it was cheap. But a lot of them had, good paying jobs. Like, if they lived somewhere else out here in Ontario, for example, they wouldn't be able to afford the rent out here, or they wouldn't be able to afford to buy a house either. But they had pretty decent, good jobs, like blue collar jobs, right? Actually, that may be. Anyway, they had good jobs. Like, they weren't working fast food. They had like corporate jobs, right? So maybe it's white collar, but I'm pretty sure it's, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, they were making good money, but they moved to a crappy part of town so that they could stay up all night and spend all their money on alcohol for a quinceañera, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a sweet 16, but it's 15, right? So, and the funny thing is, like, as far as I know, you're not allowed to drink unless you're 21, So it's like, everything's about you, paycheck is due, right? So they didn't care about my business, they didn't care about my sleep, they didn't care about the people that lived in, and everybody lived there. That's where I thought about this, because everybody lived in the house where I lived in. It was a big duplex. It was one in the front and one in the back, 2 houses, right? And it was a bunch of bedrooms, which many people shared each bedroom, right? Bunk beds, right? So I paid $400 for a bunk bed. I was like, is this insane or what, right? And at first I was just very grateful because I was homeless, running a business, $180,000 on TikTok, and making pretty much zero money, right? But all the money that I was making, it wasn't zero, but it was, I make money off my veteran, I don't make money, but I get money from my Army Veterans benefits, but then I supplemented that income with the TikTok fame that I had. I was getting paid from TikTok, a few hundred a month, and all my money was coming from platforms. So, and then eventually I lost all that. But I do own a business called I'm Worth It Incorporated, but an entertainment empire, me and only me that runs it right now, and Jesus Christ, of course. But I noticed that living in that house, paying $400 for a paying $400 for a bunk bed, that's where I thought of this, because it's, the poor oppress the poor. Everybody in South Central LA is me, only me. I don't care about you and your sleep. I'm up partying all night. I don't have enough money for me. I moved down there to a cheap part of town because I work a corporate job, get paid pretty good money, not minimum wage, way more than that. But I moved to South Central LA because I could save more money and buy more alcohol for me and my kids, right? Stuff like that. And then I could, the poor oppress the poor because nobody does anything. It's the people sitting outside of those, the people that are sitting outside of the liquor stores, for example, right, asking for money. Well, first of all, rich people don't go in those places. If they're going to drink, first of all, good quality stuff, and they're going to have somebody else go out and buy it for them, right? So poor people oppress the poor. Poor people prey on people that are like them, guilty, fearful, impulsive, obligation, obligatory, I don't know how to say it, but they feel obligated to other humans, fearful, like this might happen to me someday, entitled, oh, well, what if this happens? It doesn't just happen, right? Homelessness does not just happen, and it's not always a product. Anyway, it's not always because you're an addict, but the point is, poor people oppress the poor because poor people ask other people that are like them, fearful, obligated, right? And if somebody drinks alcohol and somebody asks them for money for alcohol, they're going to give it to them, right? I don't drink, so I'm not giving you money, right? And I'm not going to those places, so I'm not going to give you money. And the people that own those places and the people that work there, they're poor. They're not rich. And if the owners are rich, they would do something about that because they know they're not going to attract money like that, right? Or they're going to lose money from their business. But anyway, the point is, poor oppress the poor, and the people with the least amount of money cause the most problems. So that's why I don't want to be poor, because I don't want to be looking like one of the poor people causing problems, which I'm never going to never have. And I also, I don't want to be around those people. So my name is Liberty. I want more choices. But here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing that really bothered me and that made me think of this whole idea living in South Central is I'm not saying there's no good people in poor areas. I'm not saying all poor people are bad. I'm not saying that there's no good people in poor areas, and I'm not saying that all poor people are bad. But what I'm saying is that most of the people that pay the least, in most cases, people that pay the least amount of money for things are the ones that cause the most problems. Check out when I talked about cheap clients and ask Alex Hormozi. If you're a business owner, you know what I'm talking about. Go watch Alex Hormozi. He says the same things. In fact, all of the wealthy people tell you to sell the rich people or people with more money, sell more expensive stuff, because the cheap people or cheaples are the ones who cause, or free people who don't pay anything, are the ones who complain the most and cause you the most problems. And if you do that, you're going to run your business in the ground. You're going to run your business into the ground. You're not going to make enough money to keep going. And you're going to poison your business, your culture, and yourself, and your own reputation. So, the thing that brought my attention to all of this, the fact that, like, the people that steal the tickets on the trains and the bus and the bus drivers, that's why I hate riding public transportation. I don't have a choice. And the people that pay the least are the ones that cause the most problems. So, but when I thought about this idea, though, when I really started to put it all together, I was living in this apartment that I found online. I found it while I was staying with my mom during the planned pandemic. I was living with my mom for like 3 months because I was just going there just to take a little break from being here and this craziness in LA, and I missed my family. So I was there, and I found this apartment online, so I come back to LA, moved to this apartment in South Central. Well, it was not even a room. I didn't even have a room. I had a bunk bed. I'm not ungrateful, but I paid. I was the only one, because I forget what they call it, but you can get forgiveness on your rent. You got to pay that back at some point, though, right? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay my rent. Everybody else is telling me they're not paying rent. Well, I'm not going to pay. And they didn't do shit. They didn't even work. Some of them worked part-time, but most of them did not work. And none of them paid rent. And you had to sign a contract. And when I signed my name, Liberty v. Justice or something, I'm going to pay. I paid the rent. And there were people, drugs, they were abusive towards me. It was very disruptive to me. I got less sleep in that house than I did when I was sleeping on the streets. So I own I'm Worth It Incorporated, and I said, you know what, I'm worth it. I paid this, I'm going to pay my rent, and after 3 months, it was a month-to-month contract. So after 3 months, I finally left that area because there was this guy throwing vacuums at me. It was dangerous for me. It was more dangerous and more disruptive to my health living inside of that house than it was to sleep outside. And you know something? It was $400 to sleep indoors, but it was more dangerous, more disruptive to my sleep, my health, and my business, because none of the people in that house paid rent except for me. Because when I put my name on something, that means something to me. I own I'm Worth It Incorporated. I own I'm Worth It Incorporated. And I just want you to think about what I'm saying right now. I'm so scared because I don't even want to edit this because it will take too long, but this is such an amazing message. I want you to think about what I'm saying. And I want you to understand, cheap clients are costing you money. Cheap people in your life that are treating you like crap, they're costing you money too. And if you're serious about your entertainment business, you're serious about your business, your YouTube channel, please talk to me, subscribe to my channel, have a my favorite play button, and it's 100,000 subscribers. But most importantly, talk to me and check out my coaching application, because I can help you go further faster with your business, transition, and help you get rich without being homeless. Take from your job, and you can pay me, and we'll talk about possibly working together. Sign up. My application is right here. It'll probably be on the screen too with the QR. But I want to help you with your business and your fitness, and I can do it. I lost over 250 pounds, but I live for you, man. Because if everything's about you, your paycheck is due. Just think about it. Cheap people are costing you money. If it's a toxic family member like me, I'm a trauma thriver. And if it's costing you peace of mind, it's too expensive. I don't care if they're family or what, it doesn't matter. If it's costing you peace of mind, it's too expensive. And they or it or whatever it is, the cheap clients, it's too expensive. and you're worth it. And in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, I already know. The people that pay the least are the ones that cause the most problems. And since my name is Liberty, and I live in America, I know I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I want choices. I want better people in my life. That's why I'm going to be rich. I give money now to charity, Operation Underground Railroad. I want to give more. I want to give bigger tips because a rich man has many friends. And I want you to be my friend because you're worth it. Check out my coaching application. Watch these episodes next about cheap clients. Let me know what you think. The people that pay the least, aren't they usually the ones that cause the most problems? Be honest. You're worth it. Thanks.